Alright guys, so this is going to be a commentated kind of guide on how to clear the 2 Augment mission on Onslaught difficulty for the League of Legends PvE game mode Odyssey. So first thing that I want you guys to notice is the comp. We have 1 Sona, 1 Malphite, 2 Yasuos, and 3 Jinx. 1 Jinx. Some of the guides that I've seen on our League of Legends say like, hey, run 3 Yasuos or something. We tried that and we failed like 5 or so times at the boss because we couldn't DPS him down fast enough. So I'm just going to be going over kind of the augments and the builds that each person has been using to hopefully let you guys clear this yourselves. So I've made some cute little infographics, and I'm gonna start with Sona. So Sona's basically the the bailout mistress. For the augments that you're gonna want to take, you're gonna want to take Clutch and Hyped. Basically, what these two do is Clutch gives you more shields. Obviously, that's really important. And Hyped cleanses CC, which is also really important, and it gives you much more movement speed than usual, which helps everyone, dodge skill shots, get from place to place, avoid environmental hazards. All that stuff is really important. So your skilling order is going to be W, E, Q. Putting points into E is really important because, like I said, you get to go really, really fast. For builds, I would suggest building some durability. In this game, our Sona didn't build any durability, and she died like 12 times or something, which is a lot. But aside from that, just your regular support heal stuff. Ardent Sensor, I think you should build Athene's. I'm not sure if Athene's is any good, but yeah, just you want to be a heal bot to kind of save people and heal people who are on low HP. All right, moving on, we're going to be talking about Malphite. Malphite is going to be an ulti bot. So what you're going to want to use for your augments are Relentless and Onslaught. Both of these modify his ulti. One of them turns it into an infinite range dash until he runs into a wall, and one of them reduces cooldown depending on how many targets you hit. So this is really important. What you want to do is you want to just build full tank, and your job is to group up all the mobs. Build full CDR, just get as many ultis off as you can. If you can group people up harder, the better, because the next person, Yasuo, will be able to clean up everything almost instantly, and I'll explain how in a little bit. As for items, I suggest probably doing a Knight's Vow. If you have someone who's like really good at Yasuo or like decently high ranked or something, maybe just slap the Knight's Vow on him, help him carry. And aside from that, yeah, just regular tank stuff. I think the skill is WEQ or something like that. I don't think it really matters. All you're really there for is the ultimate. Okay, so moving on to our main DPS, our Captain Yasuo here. So the 2 augments that you're going to want to take are Wandering and Tempest. I don't think these are negotiable. Like, these are musts. So Wandering increases damage of tornadoes by 75%, and it causes it to come back, which means that's 175% times 2, 350% damage. Your tornado damage increases by more than 3 times by taking Wandering. That's obviously really important. And then your second augment, Tempest, is also extremely important. So you fire 2 tornadoes, 2 of these triple damage tornadoes, for every target that you hit with your ultimate, which means that if Malphite gets a pretty good ulti and he manages to snag like 6 or so targets, and Yasuo ultis off of that, you're going to be launching out 12 tornadoes that go out and come back in. Most of the time, that's just going to instantly clear whatever's been grouped. It's just going to wipe the map. And for those of you playing Yasuo, even if you're ulting into an entry hazard or something, I highly suggest you do it if you see the opportunity to get a good ulti, because of the passive that everyone gets. You already heal off of damage dealt. You're almost guaranteed to heal off of up to full if you get like 4 or 5 plus units caught in an ulti. So the build is mostly what's listed in there. PD, Infinity Edge. Duskblade will actually proc on every target that isn't Kayn, like constantly. So despite what you might think, it's actually pretty good. And you basically just want to build CDR where you can, so you can get more ultis off if possible. And finally, our last member. So if you remember at the beginning, I said we tried this with 3 Yasuos. It didn't work because we wiped at Kayn. We didn't have like the single target damage to kill Kayn consistently. It's probably because, you know, we're bad. But I decided, you know, what if we just swap out one of the Yasuos for a Jinx? Now, this Jinx's job is purely to shred Kayn. Nothing else. All the AoE damage and all the AoE clear, the other Yasuos will handle that just fine. So your job is just to kill Kayn, and to that end, you want to run this on-hit boss build. Oh, oops, augments. So for augments, you want Antsy and Eager. You get excited whenever someone ults, so that gives you a whole lot of movement speed, a lot more mobility, a lot more maneuverability. And then Antsy allows you to cast Warp infinitely when you're excited, so these synergize with each other to give you a crap ton of mobility and allowing you to be really safe and allowing you to reposition instantly and very easily. Now for builds, you just want to go on hit with Bork, Rageblade, Wits, Cleaver, and PD are the other ones that I built. So Cleaver, you do it for the CDR, and for the Armor Shred, your skilling is going to be your ulti, your Q first, and then your E, and then your W last. And the reason you don't max your W is because you're on hit, that's not going to be doing a lot of damage anyways. And the cooldown of your Chompers gets more than halved when you level it compared to 1 to 5. So Chompers are not only useful because of self-peel, but they'll also disrupt and reset the Kog'Maws things that are shooting at you. And yeah, and then also Cleavers are really good. Okay, so basically, yeah, your job is just to do general DPS, and then when the boss comes, just straight up focus the boss, and that's the only thing that you need to do. Okay, so, and that's what it is. And I'll let this run along the way, and if there's anything that I find interesting to commentate, I'll do that. So I'll also have the window open so you guys can take a look at whatever items each person is building. So I am playing the Jinx this game. So as you see, Bork first item. But at this point, I don't really do much. It's all the Yasuos. Alright, come on. So I want to get in the circle. Alright, yeah. So I'm not doing too much damage, but it is the Yasuo tornadoes and stuff that are doing a lot of damage. So I'll look for an example of why Yasuo is good, as well as general comments. Obviously, don't get hit by, you know, Kog'Maw skill shots or whatever. Like, she died right there from that. Try to avoid being in the storm. It's kind of obvious, but yeah. So the first couple of deaths are fairly forgiving. Like, your death timers are only 10-20 seconds or so. Oh, right here. Yeah, so that's one of an example of why you run the 2 augments that you do on Yasuo. As you saw right there, instantly clear that entire group. Yeah, and again, another 4-man ulti, 8 tornadoes. That's just a lot of damage. And if you're noticing how much the Yasuos are being able to heal off of the tornadoes when they hit enough targets. Anyways, as I was saying, death timers. So the first couple of deaths are fairly forgiving, but as the match goes on, like, death timers become really, really high. So for the first couple of deaths, you probably don't want to use your revive cooldown on them. Instead, you want to just, you know, let them respawn normally and save that oh my god, that is so many tornadoes. That is disgusting. But you'd want to save your cooldown and, you know, use it for later on. There we go, we're fighting. Malphite gets pretty decent ulti. Yasuo's ulti off of it, and then you have a truckload of tornadoes. And that's like the main gist of it, how you should be playing. The Ornn Q mobs, the Ornn Qs do a lot of damage, so you want to definitely watch out for that. But also, if you notice right there, our friendly face guy, he was at about half health, he got a good ulti, instantly full health. So, like I said, if you can, you know, go into ultis. And also, Sona, you gotta dodge the things. This first stage is really long. Oh, another thing that I didn't really say about wandering is that you actually basically double the amount of CC that you can put out because you have tornadoes going out, coming in. And there you go, just like that. Again, another big wipe off of a single Yasuo ulti. It's called Last Breath, I think. Oh yeah, and another reason why you shouldn't like feel bad about ulting into like a bad situation is because you're invulnerable during the ulti. And I'm trash right there. I just ran into that. Get hit by that. I think he manages to stall out for the rest of us to respawn. Oh yeah, look at that, full health. But yeah, if you can just manage to stall it out, it might work out. You might be able to clear. I think we clear this part. We wipe on the next stage, actually. So there you go. So I hope you're starting to see how important Yasuo ulti is. Alright, cool. So, starting build for the Yasuos was PD Zerkers. I think that gives you enough attack speed to cap out your Q without having to build anything else. And they go into Duskblade, because Duskblade apparently procs a lot. And then meanwhile, I'm just building Rageblade to synergize with my Bork. Bork! Alright, and I think we wipe on this stage, so I'm just gonna skip to where we start to wipe. Yeah, we're kind of just stuck here and I don't dodge some stuff. I feel like I can't really... Yeah. We wipe here. I got hit by the Sejuani W thing. So... we don't need to see that. You know what I mean? Alright. Liz. Obviously the most helpful and useful tip, dodge everything. If you get CC'd by a bubble, that's no good. If you get hit by any of the mob's things, they all hurt really, really badly. So you want to avoid that. You know, I would not recommend splitting up like this, by the way. but maybe it's oh, that was disgusting. That was disgusting tornado. If you notice, one of my team members is going for the aura plants. I guess if you want to like one man do that, I suppose that would be fine. But I would just more suggest staying grouped. And then meanwhile, Jinx is getting like a ton of getting excited procs, so I'm just able to zip around with all of the warps. What is going on? What? So yeah, I think right there, just a second ago, I managed to get excited proc, and I was able to use multiple warps to get out of that sticky situation. Yeah. And then that last Yasuo ulti wipes whatever mobs were there and gets us enough ore to clear this stage and move on to the next one. Can I zoom out more? No, apparently not. Okay. I'm just like considering what to buy, because this is the first time that I ran this Jinx, that apparently it worked out, so I decided to just go with Wit's End. And meanwhile, the Yasuo's finished building Infinity Edge. Can't really say I entirely agree with Sona's build choice, but whatever. As long as she keeps us alive, it's not really a big deal. But yeah. If you look at when Yasuo's hitting stuff, you can actually kind of hear the Dust Blade constantly proccing, which is nice. And there we go, another Yasuo ulti wipe. Right, so I think this is a really big mistake that we make here. Don't fight in range of like 3 Kog'Maws like this. Or 4, I guess. Like, that is not a good idea. Excellent play by Malphite and Senor Crazy right there to group and wipe. So, really nice work from them. I'm not sure if the other Yasuo needed to get res right there. I think he was pretty close to just reviving off of the timer, but not really sure. So that was pretty easy. The only mistake we really made was fighting in that choke with like 3 Kog'Maws shooting at us. But yeah, aside from that, it was okay. You know, I'm still considering what to buy, and I finally decided, like, hey, let's do Cleaver. So, meanwhile, the Yasuos have built more CDR, Sona has more whatever, Malphite has more tank. So, as you saw right there, since I have the Get Excited buff, I get to zip around. A very good ulti from, what do I call it, that Uwu or something? An excellent ulti from Uwu. So if you notice, what you can do is you can run, and your tornadoes will continue to follow you. And if you run fast enough, you can drag them through a large number of mobs, meaning that you can hit like a ton of mobs with tornadoes that weren't even initially intended for them by hitting them with a return. think if you have like MLG, Ari, or Sivir mechanics, you might be used to that. Obviously, just try and hit as many targets as you can with the tornado. Oh, I got a gold bot. Nice. I think this game mode's like a little easier than the Star Garden game mode that was released a while ago, just because you have these augment things that allow you to make broken stuff like that right there, you know? Like that Yasuo just did like, what, 2,000 damage instantly by having all of his tornadoes track back to him and run through one target. Nuts. It's nuts. Yeah, if you're Malphite, try and get a good ulti like that, where you drag everyone into the rest of your team. Because if you have a Yasuo that can make good use of it, then that's basically a wipe instead of, you know, killing your team. So this is kind of like the opposite of a regular League of Legends. You know, you don't want to ulti everyone into your team, but in this case, if you're playing Malphite and you have Yasuo, yeah, you do. So no. But also, I hope you're seeing how fast someone was able to move there with the Song of Celerity buff, hyped. So yeah, that's really important. And there you go. Yasuo ulti is broken in this game. Got more free augments. So since we got the gold bot in this game, we got an extra 500 gold in the Yasuo's built Iceborne Gauntlet. So 1 for the Sheen procs, 2 for the extra armor, but most importantly for the 20% CDR. So with that, the Yasuos become capped at 40% CDR. And meanwhile, I decided to buy Phantom Dancer as the last item to give me more attack speed and hopefully increase my single target DPS. Because this part is the entire reason that that I chose Jinx in the first place. Because when we were running 3 Yasuos, we wouldn't have the DPS to kill Kayn in a timely manner. And then the issue was that with that was Kayn becomes enraged, right? At which point his damage against you increases by a lot. And it's, you know, it's kind of annoying. Oh. So for this part you want to spread out, because I think how it works is like you only get hit by your allies thing, you won't get hit by your own. So if you're stacked on top of each other, you're all going to get hit by each other's thing. But if you're spread out, no one gets hurt. So I'm just there, I'm playing Jinx. I have my minigun on, you know, right click AFK. And then, yeah, I suggest standing where I was standing so you can see which thing that Kayn is going to teleport to next. You don't get hit by any of that whack stuff. right here, this situation right here is where Jinx shines because I can just, you know.
You will create oblivion with joy, Yasuo.
And then also, you're seeing all those get excited procs allow me to just zip around.
Hear the sweet whispers of oblivion.
And meanwhile, Yasuos are just on, you know, cleaning up ad duty. Because Tempest plus Wanderer is broken.
Universe and everything in it is mine.
Everyone mostly managed to separate. One thing to note about Kayn is that like his Q still acts as a regular Q, meaning there's two instances of damage. One, the actual dash, and then two, the spin, right? Meaning that if you're not careful and you get hit by both instances of that, you might just, you know, instantly die. So right here, when Assassin Kayn does his aura gathering thing, you have two options. One is either, you know, try and coordinate with your Yasuos to, you know, use the wind walls to protect them, or you could just back off and wait. So I suggest the second one, because the first one requires a little too much coordination that I don't know if you have. Oh, where am I going? Where am I zipping? I'm zipping around.
This next part, you will fall in love. Sing my name.
So like for example here, I have Get Excited procs, I'm able to just zip around and run circles around him and constantly dodge out the thing, and there we go. That is the clear. So I think, you know, each character has a pretty important niche in this composition. You definitely need a Malphite, you definitely need at least 2 Yasuos. Apparently some people have had success with 3 Yasuos, we didn't find it. But if you swap out a Jinx, and you get, you know, you swap out a Jinx and you use that to kill the Kayn. So, give me a second. You can also go ahead and look at the numbers.